On the last All Out show, I chopped it up with Trader Truth, talked about trying to hang out with him. Hanging out with you at South by Southwest was one of the hardest things ever to fucking do.
Look, I think anybody who moved with me is South by Southwest tap out.
It took 7 hours to go to Denny's. You just got to motivate so many people. It was like, I just wanted some pancakes, man. It was like, I'm fucking starving. It was cool to be that deep, but fucking hey, man.
Yeah, everybody tap out when they go there, man. That's why I'm the Texas ambassador of it. I've done the most shows since they started.
And we discovered something else about John. He doesn't know his own birthday. You 50 right now, aren't you?
I'm not 50.
For real? You look old as fuck.
You know, ever since you started pointing these things out, I can't help but think that way, too. Somebody's like, wow, I'm getting older. I think I'm like 43 or 44, maybe.
How you not know? John, you wasn't born in the Dominican, bro. Like, how do you not know your motherfucking birthday, bro?
I just stopped thinking about it. I don't care.
I think I'm like 43 or 44. You know exactly how old you are. You're 51. And now here's another episode of the All Out Show. What up, though? How y'all doing? How's everyone out there? I hope you're having a fucking great day. I know I am. Went to go get my scope today. That's where they fucking put the thing down your throat and look in your stomach and tell you what's wrong. Turns out me and my doctor had I think there's a language barrier between the two of us. He's from India and I got an accent too. And that motherfucker didn't give me a scope. I had to go drink some weird shit and then they took pictures of my stomach. It was like I had to drink some real weird thick milk and it coats your stomach and then they take pictures of you. And I was pissed off the whole time. I was like, I thought I was going to get a scope. And they're like, nope, we're just taking pictures. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. The crazy thing is like when I go poop now, it looks like it's like pistachio colored from the fucking chemicals. I know, bro. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Yeah.
Is that like baby poop color?
Nah, bro. It's like not natural. It looks like pistachio ice cream. You know that green?
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to eat my pistachios at home now.
Well, it didn't taste like it. It tasted different. But it looked like pistachio. I'm about ready to like crowdsource a fucking GI in goddamn Michigan that will just order me a fucking scope and shit. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. I want to go yell at the doctor. I'm like, really, dude? You got me driving? Just fucking put the fucking thing down my throat. The guy wants to take his time with me. Like, hey, asshole. Yesterday I'm getting fucking ultrasounds, driving all over the fucking place. Whatever, dude. So I just came home from the fucking skull. I'm sitting here in a robe. I'm sitting here in a robe. About a year ago, I got called like a transphobe, which I am not. I'm a fucking humanist. Because in Connecticut, this high school kid, he was born a boy, but like now he identifies as a woman, and he runs track on the woman's side, and he keeps whooping everybody's ass. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, he should be racing against boys. That's what he was born as. That's what his bone structure is, his fucking muscle mass. All that is fucking, it doesn't care. I don't care what you think you are. All of that is screaming fucking man. That dick between your legs is saying man to me there, champ. Well, now the parents are fucking, they're trying to, the parents started a petition to have them race against girls, or to have them race against fellow boys, because another dude came over. So now they got two trans athletes just whooping their asses. Just creaming the girls. So the best girl runner can, her best hope is to get the bronze. They're racing for third. And they're like, enough of this shit. And I think in Texas there's a dude that's a chick that's a wrestler. It's just fucking chicks up. One that's won the state championship or some shit. Dress how you like, do whatever you want. But like when it comes to competition, come on, man, we gotta go. Guys, you're so fucking open-minded, you lost your fucking minds. You're ignoring science. Ridiculous. And I'm not even trying to have like the fucking gender debate. Whatever. Like, I don't care. Be whatever the fuck you want, but they fucking up people's scholarships and shit. You know what I mean? fucking up the trophy case. Like, I was looking at this. In the Olympics, the fastest woman is slower than the slowest man. It's the way it goes. You put some mediocre dude up against Serena Williams, like a medium tennis guy against Serena, and he'll beat her. Like, it's just, she wouldn't even be able to return the serve. I've seen it. I've seen doubles. You ever watch doubles tennis? Whatever. Anyway, that's my fucking 2 cents. You guys are scaring me though, man. Like, come on, man. You're getting a little too open-minded. And it's more impressive, dog. Like, if I was a dude that like identified as a woman, how fucking impressive would it be for me to like line up against dudes looking like a chick and just fucking like with my braids and shit and just wearing some girls' clothes and just beat them? Like, that's impressive. Ooh, wow, you fucking... The nerve of everybody that's complicit in this fucking charade. Just to spare somebody's feelings. Like, come on, man. That's bullshit. Today's gonna be an interesting show. We got a guy that was in part of a sex cult. Like a real Hollywood sex cult. I think he's calling up. Do you know how to pronounce that sex cult, John?
Oh, yeah. What is it? Nexium or something like that? Or?
Is that it? Nexium?
I'll have to confirm, but I think that's it.
Y'all really gotta you guys gotta really help me with that shit. Because I'm reading the emails and I don't know how to pronounce names. Like, do the phonetic shit for me.
I'm told it's Nixium.
Nixium?
Yeah.
All right. It's crazy. It involves like the Seagrams, Seagram's fucking like Seagram 7 and Seagram's Golden Line coolers and shit. It involves Seagram's money and Hollywood actresses and all types of shit. So he's going to tell us that story. Justin Hunt is going to tell us more about the XXX Tacion murder. And hopefully some other shit. And then we got the news with John. So I'm feeling pretty good about this show. What's the guy's name? The dude that with the fucking with the sex cult.
Frank Parlato.
Frank Varlato? All right, Frank Varlato. Parlato. See, Frank Parlato. All right, bet we're going to talk to Frank Parlato about the sex cult. The shitty thing about the being in that sex cult is usually just the cult leader that gets to fuck all the girls. If you sign up for the wrong sex cult, and you just got to sit there and then he's like fucking your wife and you're supposed to feel grateful. Like, wow, the master's fucking my wife. Fucking whatever. All right. Covered everything I wanted to cover. Shit on my doctor. Talk shit about the fucking dudes racing girls and plug the sex cult guy. All right. Fucking A. That's what we got for the show. Justin Hunt. Gonna tell us about the fucking slang rapper. And John's got 8 myths about sex that he's gonna debunk. The debunker. Let's go. It's an all-out show.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
Security cameras caught a white orb wandering around the gym.
There was a 8 to 10 foot hairy man-looking person.
If you noticed strange lights in the sky over the weekend, you aren't alone.
It's time for news from the fringe on the All Out Show.
All right, I got Frank Parlato on the line with me, and Frank was the publicist for NXIVM, which was a crazy sex cult in Los Angeles. Welcome to the show, Frank.
Thank you very much.
So let's this is kind of a big story. So let's unpack this. So NXIVM was the cult, correct, sir?
Well, I think it's been established now that they are a cult.
Okay.
They would, of course, deny that they're a cult, but I think most people think they are.
And they're still running as we speak.
To a degree, they are in a much reduced fashion, because their leader and one of the top women, the actress Allison Mack, have been arrested and charged with sex trafficking.
Okay, all right. So let's walk through this. Now, what was the basis of this cult? The leader was Keith Rand. How do you say his Rainier?
Well, there's two pronunciations. Most people pronounce it Rainier, like you said.
Okay.
But the Italian pronunciation is Ranieri.
Okay. So he's an Italian guy.
Yes. Born in the United States, though. Born in Brooklyn.
Okay. All right. So he's a Brooklyn guy. He actually got set up. He got money from the Seagrams, the Seagrams heiresses.
That is correct. About $250 million.
He got $250 million from the Seagrams heiresses, and that allowed him to start a religion or cult. What was it based on?
Well, the cult, which is called NXIVM, is based on a series of classes or teachings that Keith Raniere devised, which were purportedly meant to help people learn the secrets of life. That was what it was on the surface. What it was in reality was a sex cult.
So how did
Raniere is the man?
Okay, so was it only women allowed, or were men in it too?
If men had money, they were generally allowed. But the actual choice of the harem was all Raniere's.
All right, so and he would like spit game and like talk him into having sex with him. How long did that take usually?
Well, usually he would not see any women until they had completed 16 days of classes, which were basically a sort of a hypnotic induction course where they would teach women that Raniere was the smartest, greatest, and wisest person in the world. And if the women seemed to be accepting of that kind of indoctrination, then Raniere would make his appearance, and if he found the woman attractive, he'd bed them.
Now, I understand that he got one of the actresses from Smallsville.
He actually had two actresses from Smallville, Kristen Kruk and Allison Mack. Only Mack was arrested.
And Allison Mack. Now, what about the Seagrams, the daughters of the Seagrams? Did he seduce them as well?
Yes, not initially, but he once he got them well into the cult and spending their money, he agreed to have sex with them. He
agreed to have sex with them?
Yeah.
Now, how
well,
did
the one sister, the older sister, was a little more attractive, and he found it to be advantageous to have sex with her to try to inveigle her deeper commitment. The younger sister, Claire, she was not precisely the type of woman that he would normally prefer to bed, but based on economic considerations, he finally consented to have sex with her after she had put in, a good $100 million.
This guy sounds like a fucking pimp. So how did you get involved?
Well, independent of the a secret side of the group, which I knew nothing about when I was initially hired, I was asked to work as their publicist and to try to get some better press. This was back in 2007, and they were getting some pretty bad press, but it was nothing like it is today. Just people in the media were referring to them as a cult. And after about 7 months of working for them, I found that Raniere, the cult leader, had more or less swindled the Brofman sisters, the Seagram's heirs, out of about $100 million. And when I whistle blew, they fired me.
Mm. During this time, were you having sex with any of the women as well?
No. I was there on a more professional basis. Although, in all candor, there was too many women for Raniere, for one man to handle. Or maybe you could handle it. Maybe some guys could, but there was like 100 women, and I don't think Raniere was able to handle more than 25 at a time.
Now, tell me about the branding.
That came later. And I'm the one that broke the story and made the issue known publicly. Raniere wanted to, as he got older, he got into his 50s, he found that he was not as easily able to get the slender 20-something-year-old women that he preferred. And so he came up with an idea for Allison Mack and some of the 30-something women to find 20-something women and even younger so that Raniere could continue his sexual enterprises.
So he used Smallville actors to recruit better-looking women because he was too old to do it.
He was having troubles, yeah. He was finding for the first time that young 21 and 19-year-old girls just weren't as excited about being with him as he had once experienced when he was younger.
Right.
And then he had another couple. May I be explicit or
yes,
or
please.
Not?
No, be very explicit.
Well, part of the problem is he developed some kind of dysfunction where he was no longer able to have sex. He was impotent. And then when he contracted herpes, he became in many ways less desirable as a sex partner. And so this is when he devised the idea of creating a branding and blackmail multi-level marketing plan where the women would be his slaves. He'd have 7 slaves, and then each of the 7 slaves would have 7 slaves. And those 7 slaves of the 7 slaves would also get slaves. And
it's like a pyramid scheme.
Any one of them. A pyramid scheme, right, with blackmail and branding.
And what was the branding? Where would they brand them?
On their pubic region.
Now,
initials.
Was he pimping these women out? Where did the sex trafficking charge come in?
The sex trafficking was he was forcing them, these women, by tricking them into this group, into having sex primarily with himself. Although there are occasions where he would utilize the women to have sex with others. Typically, he was a very possessive man. He wanted all the women for himself.
That's crazy. And now he's in jail. Allison Mack is been charged. Is she in jail?
No, she's on home arrest.
Okay.
In California on a $5 million bond, ankle monitors, and she can't leave the house without permission. She's living with her parents now.
You didn't smash not one of these chicks, man. Come on, Frank.
You know what? The fact of the matter is there were so many beautiful women there, and I was kind enough, and they were kind enough to be friends. But it wasn't. It was a working environment for me, honestly. A very.
Were you? They say you were getting paid $75,000 a month.
That is correct. And so, come on, man, you wouldn't want to blow that for
that sounds like
just.
That didn't seem suspicious to you? The amount of money, that's a lot of money for like a publicist.
Not one of my caliber.
Who else did you do publicity for?
I did a lot of work for different celebrities and politicians and religious orders, and so I thought I was uniquely qualified because the way it was presented to me was that it was a kind of a religious group with real good ideals, and on paper, in their words, they sounded good. And
how long did you work for? When you saw him when you realized that he was banging all those chicks, how much longer did you work for him?
Let's see, 3 months.
So you worked for another 3 months.
Yeah, I didn't mind that he was banging all those chicks. That didn't bother me. If it was consensual, and it appeared to be consensual.
Yeah,
it didn't offend me because they all seemed to be agreeable to it.
Yeah, he's finessing them. What are you gonna do? So why did you tell on him?
Well, I didn't tell him about the sex. It was the stealing of the $100 million. That's what bothered me.
Why did you care?
The Brofman girls.
Oh, you like
it was the Brofman girls that were actually paying me. And I was thinking, it's just the kind of a scummy thing to steal people's money, and so one thing, they probably would have donated it to him if he would have asked for it, but I think he enjoyed stealing it from him. That's my opinion.
Let me ask you this. Did they stick with him afterwards?
Yes, they did. And
so
now they're headed to jail.
They're headed to jail. They've been charged as well?
They're about to be charged. In the last court hearing, the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Maura Penza, said superseding indictments are coming for the heiress.
Were any politicians involved?
Yes.
How high?
Well, Hillary Clinton was getting money from them. I guess that's about the highest-ranking one.
Hillary Clinton was getting money from the Seagrams ladies?
From Nexium and the Seagrams both.
Oh, Nexium donated to Hillary Clinton?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy. That's pretty high. All right.
They had some state senators and a few other politicians, a couple of judges, things like that. But it wasn't open and notorious like that because they had kind of a bad reputation.
I don't understand how it's trafficking. Like, if you talk women into banging you, I don't get how that's trafficking.
Well, here's the secret of it. It wasn't trafficking until they started collecting blackmail material on some of the younger women, and then they said, if you don't have sex with Keith, we're going to release your blackmail material. And that's when he crossed the line from consensual to coercive.
And how many of these women were actors as well?
Well, there was a lot of them that were not famous actresses, but there were 4 or 5 that were well-known, or are well-known, bona fide, successful actresses.
All right, well,
There was Christina Loken, Grace Park, Allison Mack, Kristen Kruk, Linda Evans was there for a while, Indy Oxenberg, Catherine Oxenberg, and an actor by the name of Mark Hildreth. These were all fairly successful television or movie actors.
Did any guys let him bang their girls?
He stole quite a few away from the guys, yeah.
Well, how did the guys take that?
Some of them were passive and became essentially cuckolds. And others were resentful and they left. But if the guys complained, the girls would all sit them down and tell the guys, like, you have an issue. It's your issue, not Keith's. And then the guy would say, but he fucked my girl. And they'd say, well, that's because you don't understand. He's a great teacher. He's trying to help your girl.
They gaslighted him.
They gaslighted him, right.
That is fucking crazy. All right, we're gonna play a song and take some phone calls on this. We got Frank Parlato here. He was the publicist for NXIVM, sex cult, alleged sex cult that is still operating, but underground. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. Hold tight, Frank.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
Shade 45, we are back. I got Frank Parlato on the phone. He was the publicist for sex cult NXIVM and whistleblower. We're going to take some phone calls in case you're just tuning in. NXIVM was a cult ran by, how you say it, Keith?
Raniere.
Keith Raniere. Yeah, ran by Keith Raniere. And what he would do, he would finesse women into sleeping with them, and then it got so crazy, he started branding these women, had actresses on board. He'd brand them. What would he brand them with? What was the symbol that he would brand them with, Frank?
With his initials, KR.
He would hit the KR by their crotch and on their butts and stuff like that. So what exactly was
by their crotch only? He was only put them on the front.
He put it right by the pussy.
Within an inch or two, yes.
Damn, that's fucking wild. All right, so I don't understand what the blackmail would be. What would be the blackmail? Well, give me an example of what they were blackmailing the women with.
The blackmail was nude photographs, nude films, confessions to crimes, personal secrets that were recorded, and in some cases the promise of unborn children would be turned over to Raniere.
Damn. All right, let's go to the phone lines. 888-742-3345. 888-742-3345. Let's go to line 2. Hard. I don't know what his full name is. Line 2. What's up, man?
Yo.
Your name? Hardhead. What up, man? What you want to say?
Man, what up, dude? Man, what up, All Out Show? Fucking Frank, bro. First off, man, loan me $20. I know you got it. And second, bro, I feel like this shit is bullshit. Like, what do these women do when they sitting around, like, waiting to get fucked? What are they doing? They got normal lives, or and how are they branded? Like, they just cattle probing these motherfuckers with a V?
Yeah,
No, it's not simple like that. No.
Did he keep them all in one place, or did they have their own apartments and then would come to meetings? How did that work?
Most of them had their own places. Many of them were wealthy women, and they would sometimes share an apartment, or they'd have their own places.
Whistleblow, like, what exactly did you expose that made it open to the public that this guy is this guy?
I broke the story in a newspaper and on my website that he was branding women and blackmailing them. And that got picked up by the world media. The New York Times picked up my story, gave me credit for breaking the story. And then most of the rest of People magazine, the Daily Mail, the Mirror, every major publication in the world has written about this based on the stories that I originally reported.
You ain't fuck none. You ain't get no pussy. And you've been doing this how long? Publicized?
What was your... Wait, let me hear that question again.
You didn't get no pussy,
Okay.
he said.
You didn't get no pussy. Like, the whole time you was participating...
Well, I wasn't a
side,
member of the cult. You have to understand, I was not a member. I was there in a professional capacity to be their public.
But you were in the back, in the shadows.
You got $1 million off of them.
More than $1 million.
You got over $1 million. Is it yours, or they're trying to say that you stole it? Is it yours, or do you get to keep the money?
They tried to say I stole it. That I stole it, but they dropped those charges. So now it's indisputably my money.
All right. So let's go to Wise in Baltimore. Go ahead, Wise.
Hey, Frank, you just sound like you kind of sound bitter that this man was hitting all this ass and getting money off of having, bang the shit out of the chicks. So you actually blew the whistle because you didn't get your whistle blown. Let me know.
No, it wasn't quite that simple. I could have cherry picked. Listen, he had 100 women, let's say. He could only do about 25.
And you could have jumped in and got the other 25. What happened?
I could have had as many. I could have gone to a smorgasbord. But the point, and I wasn't bitter at all. I was happy for him. Had he not been stealing money from these women,
what?
I wouldn't have cared if he had 100 women. It didn't bother me. I'm not a jealous guy. If you could have 1,000 women, I don't care.
So you're okay with the blackmail and the fucking branding, but it was when
right. No, dude. No. The branding didn't start till after I left. He wasn't blackmailing and branding him when I was there. I left in 2008. He didn't start branding till 2015.
So right, let me ask you this, though. Since he was stealing from the women, all right, do you feel as though and shit that you were stealing from the women because you got away with $1 million? He paid you with the money that he stole from women. You realize that, right?
It's blood money.
No, he didn't pay me.
Blood
money,
money, Frank.
Explain what happened, dude. You're asking a good question, and I appreciate your question. He stole money from the Brofman sisters, who are Seagram's heiresses, and $26 million. First, he lost $65 million, quote unquote, lost in commodities. Then there was $26 million that went south in real estate. I recovered for the Brofmans $26 million of the money he stole, and they paid me $1 million out of the 26 that I got back.
All right, let's go to New York. We got Mike in New York on line 8. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Frank. Thanks. Hey, just, Frank, a question for you. So just literally a few days ago, there was a story that broke by way of BuzzFeed News, basically highlighting that there was a senior-level federal government official that had to abruptly resign because he was connected to this exact cult. His name was Joe Hagan. I was just wondering, did you have any contact or communication with him?
Well, if you read the BuzzFeed story, I was quoted in that story with BuzzFeed, and the guys, Joe Hagan, as you rightfully point out, he came on to do work not entirely dissimilar to the work I was doing after I left. And most of his work was through one of the Brofman sisters, Sarah Brofman, and the Nexium was attempting to overthrow, using money to overthrow the government in Libya. And they were unsuccessful.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Did they do any like weird culty shit, like spirit cooking, or like painting crosses with doo-doo or anything like that?
I never saw that.
So it was nothing in the occult. It was more just him playing like mind games.
A lot of hypnotism and a lot of bullshit. He would lie to them about his supernatural powers.
Let's go to Zach in Florida.
Hey, Jude, what's up, man? Thanks for taking the call. I sent you a gang of books up there that I wrote. I don't know if you got them, but
I did.
Frank, right? This is what he sounds like to me. You are part of a continuing criminal enterprise. You benefit $75,000 a month. The first couple of months, you make no investigation, like where's this money really coming from. Then you go retrieve money back that this guy so-called stole, and then you end up being a snitch. You sound exactly like fucking Nicky Barnes, man. You part of the enterprise. You don't like the fact that he's getting all the pussy, so you snitch, bring everybody down, and fuck it. And you're gloating about this man going to prison because he had finesse. He ain't killing nobody. He didn't go strong on nobody. How do you sit well? And I hope no one is inspired to follow in your footsteps. How do you feel knowing that? What do you feel like? You're a cop or something? Like you're a super cop?
Well, I think you have a certain characterization, and I disagree with most of it, but I appreciate your intelligent way of placing it and putting it out there. Number one, I knew where the money I was getting paid came from because it came from the Brofmans and their heiresses, and they were paying me. So it's not like I was taking stolen money. As I told the last caller, I wasn't offended by him having different women. I wasn't jealous or at all concerned about it. But when he was stealing money from the Brofman sisters, I thought it was wrong. And so we butted heads, and I left.
So let me ask you
when
this.
I found out he was branding women on the pussy and blackmailing them, I reported that.
How'd you find out about that?
One of the mothers.
One of the mothers told you?
And then I verified it by asking other women if it was true, and then one of the women showed me her branding.
All right, so
that's kind of rough. That's all. I wasn't. And you said there were no murders. Yes, there were murders. We found out later that a couple of women died. So I think your characterization is wrong. I gradually became awakened to the fact that this was a very rotten cult. That's all.
So I guess my next question is this then. Like, you knew that he had all of these people, like, brainwashed and in a spell. Like, you didn't foresee the Brofman sisters staying with him and kicking you out? Like,
well,
it's
that's
like when
I realized that there was something drastically wrong. But if you look at these girls, these women, they come across as bright and intelligent. They don't come across, and I've published this many times, they don't act like they're zombies. These are not Charlie Manson chicks. These are women that have money, that appear to be intelligent. And this man created a brand new concept of blackmailing, branding, hypnotizing intelligent women so that you wouldn't even notice it. So I think what I did was a good thing, exposing it to the world. I'm not gloating about it, but damn it, I'm not going to be pushed around either.
Yeah, you got to stand up for yourself, man. A
he
lot of
attacked
people.
me first, bro. He attacked me first. I didn't start with him.
Big Mo in Atlanta.
Yeah. You really a snitch, bro. Like, I really think that you got mad because you weren't getting no pussy. And you done fell in love of liking one of them. And now you want to go
you
right
think that way because that's the way you would be. That's why you think
that's
that
you,
way.
Bro.
You're that way.
Look at what you're
but
doing,
I've already
bro.
said, yeah, bro, I already said 3 times. I wasn't jealous of the women. I wanted to do a good job, bro. That's all.
And you were mad because the one you really liked, he was putting his brand on the pussy, and you weren't getting it. That's what that
Okay, well, make up your own stories if you want, but I already said branding did not occur till 7 years after I left the group.
But when you heard about it, you cried.
Let's go to Charles in Texas.
I laughed and I was outraged, my friend. Outraged that they would brand.
Charles in Texas.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, first question, man. These women.
You
if they
broke up.
rich, they powerful, they got all this and that, how was he getting them?
He hung out with rich and powerful people, and he, like, just because they're rich and powerful doesn't mean that they're not susceptible to be fucking scammed.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you that rich, that powerful or whatnot, you're not just any dude come at you and put you in a code and then have you in the way to where you're going to get blackmailed.
I think it's they baby step. They baby step. You don't just walk in and he brands you. They baby step you. How long did it take for the branding? How long were they in the cult before the branding happened?
Usually years.
So yeah, it's a long game with this guy. It's a long game. Do you regret telling on him? You're getting all you hear all this blowback that you're getting. Everyone's calling you a snitch. Do you regret telling on him?
Not one single bit. And I don't think what your listeners understand is I didn't just start off tattletaling on him. He went to the government and charged me. He got these people to charge me because you know how corrupt the FBI is. And you know how corrupt the Department of Justice is, or you ought to know, because they're pretty damn corrupt.
All right, you didn't tell this part. He charged you first, and so you retaliated?
So I retaliated like any man would do. He got me charged, and I said, this mother, can I swear?
Yeah, go ahead.
This motherfucker got me charged on lies when he's the thief. So I turned it around on him, and I got him charged. And he's in jail, and I'm free. And what the fuck, I would do it again. I didn't start with him. He started with me. Keep that in mind before you call me a snitch, because I don't know a single rascal out there who wouldn't fight back if he was attacked. But if you know somebody that's just going to sit there passive and not fight back, then more glory to you. Sorry, but that's how I feel.
Well, Frank, where can they hear more about this? You have a website. What's your website?
It's called FrankReport.com.
FrankReport.com. You talk about this and other things, or is it mostly just this?
Well, it's a lot of this. I have another other media that I do other kinds of stories, but Frank Report is about this dirty sex cult that I broke into pieces.
Let's go to. We'll finish with Mariah.
Hi. Hey, Frank.
Hi.
Aren't you nervous that the the Clintons are going to kill you for outing them?
Well, it's always a possibility, right? These are pretty dark people.
You need to go hide, and you should probably leave the U.S. They're going to kill you.
Yeah. You're not the only person that said that to me.
Hey, if you end up hanging yourself,
then you guys will know.
Yeah, we know that. Are you suicidal, Frank?
Not in the slightest.
All right, there you go. If he ends up hanging himself, we know what happened to Frank, old Frankie. Frank Parlato, thank you for coming on and telling us this crazy story about Nexium.
I had a great time. Thank you. Let me on again, and we'll take some more calls. Thanks for your kindness.
There it is.
Take care.
That was news from the Fringe.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand. And now, here's the breakdown with Justin Hunt.
Justin, what up, man?
Jude, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for calling in. I'm in Michigan and you're on the phone. So but we got big stories this week. Another rapper was slain on Monday. This past Monday, XXX-Tentacion. We covered him a couple times. How you say his name? I can never say it right.
XXX-Tentacion.
All right. So what happened?
So in Broward County, Florida, 2 days ago, XXX went to buy a motorcycle after he left the motorcycle shop he was gunned down in his car and left for dead.
Someone hopped out the car, ran up on him, shot him, and bailed. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the story. The people haven't been apprehended. No one's been arrested at this point yet. But he was, according to the Broward County Sheriff Department, he was 20 years old and pronounced dead once he arrived at the hospital. So, as the internet does, people are coming up with their own theories, or they're pointing their fingers at people they believe might have been involved. None of that's been reported yet. I'd rather not report on internet theories right now. But this is a big deal in terms of the way a generation is responding to the passing of XXX Tentacion. You're right. We have covered him significantly over the past year and a half or so. He's been in the news for a number of reasons.
He got in trouble. He was accused of beating up the pregnant girl, right?
Correct. Kidnapping her, beating her up, threatening her with barbecue utensils, punching her eye to the point where she almost went blind. Very, very graphic stuff. He's been on trial, not trial, but he's been going through the court system over the past, a year and a half since the allegations broke. Just really, really dark situation there. And at the same time, he's also one of these artists who young people really look to for inspiration. He's constantly flooding his live streams, his Insta stories, his social media with positive messages to kids on how to live a better life. He's been openly regretful about some of the things he's done in the past, the life that he's lived. He's donated tons of money and really put positive energy out through his social media. And at the same time, his music has always been very, very strong. He's a very talented musician as well.
Okay.
So it's a very interesting thing. Now, with this passing, this is definitely a tragedy. And it definitely caused confliction, obviously, with, some of the things he experienced before. But the thing that's interesting about him is that he's always had a very pronounced fascination with death. He talks about death quite a bit on his live streams, almost in a will I be alive when I'm 25 kind of way, if you know what I mean. And we have a clip here of one of the last posts that he put up. It's almost prophetic in a sense. John, we have it on the link there on the doc, if you have a second.
Oh, sorry. You want the
Yeah, play it, John.
Okay, with him in the car. All right, stand by.
Yeah, that's it.
Worst thing comes to worst, I fucking die a tragic death or some shit, and I'm not able to see out my dreams. I at least want to know that the kids perceived my message and were able to make something of themselves and able to take my message and use it and turn it into something positive, and to at least have a good life. I at least, if I'm gonna die or ever be a sacrifice, I want to make sure that my life made at least 5 million kids happy, or they found some sort of answers or resolve in my life, regardless of the negative around my name, regardless of the bad things people say to me. I don't give a fuck, because I know my goal in the end, and I know what I want for everyone, and I know what my message is. So I just wanted to say I appreciate and love all of you, and I believe in you all. Do not let your depression make you. Do not let your body define your soul. Let your soul define your body. Your mind is limitless. You are worth more than you could believe. All you have to do is dream, and all you have to do is want to fulfill that dream and have the strength.
That's it.
So yeah, I mean, those are the that's the clip there, John. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, so he floods his social.
It's like Tony Robbins,
like this regular. Yeah, right.
It's like fucking Tony Robbins for teenagers. It's awesome. Well, yeah. It's if the allegations are true, it's just a weird thing. It's so human beings are complicated creatures, I guess, is what I would say.
That's that's absolutely the case. The thing that is interesting to me is the reaction again to his passing has reached Tupac-esque levels. Now, and I'm going to preface what I'm going to say here. In no way am I comparing XXX's impact on hip-hop or the influence in number of directions or even his talent or his skill level to Tupac. I'm not making that comparison. I don't believe that that's a fair comparison on any level. But the reaction that people have had once this kid has passed away, or since this kid has passed away, people had conspiracy theories saying that he was still alive. You have people from every aspect of hip-hop going in on really detailed personal encounters that they've had with this kid or around this kid or because of this kid. People have mobbed all through Melrose, downtown, or Melrose and Fairfax in Los Angeles yesterday was a mob scene. They had police helicopters out there. Hundreds, if not thousands of kids were out there. They did the same thing in Florida yesterday evening since he passed away. There's a confliction that X has always represented that affects this generation in a similar way to the confliction that Tupac talked about, embodied through his music and through his life. Pac famously went to jail on sexual assault charges, rape charges, and yet he was still able to project so many positive things to our generation. X has a very similar dichotomy going with this generation. I haven't seen a reaction like this to an artist passing outside of Pac, possibly ever. And they both spent a lot of time talking about death. And, you know, there's something just in that air again. Like, the 90s was a pretty dark time. And these kids are going through it right now in their own way. We talk about Lil Peep and all the drug overdose stuff. Like, there's a lot of similarities that are just in the air from a generational standpoint that just really stand out about this situation.
In a way, these rappers now, too, like, actually have a bigger reach than 90s rappers had, you know? More people listen to rap now than before. Rap is the pop music rap has surpassed rock and roll and pop. Like, rap is pop. And so therefore you're going to get a bigger audience. And then you have the reach on your own. You have social media, which artists weren't able to use back then. So, like, this dude's reach was crazy, like, super nuts.
I mean, it's amazing. And, you know, he was also it's funny, he's one of the artists who was removed from Spotify playlists. Spotify had this idea a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where they were going to remove artists who were, looked like they made songs that were violent against women or just, you know, bad.
Yeah, they got rid of R. Kelly.
Right.
Yeah.
He was one of the artists that they took off. And then they ended up getting rid of that rule, so he went back on the playlist. And as soon as he passes away, he's on the front page of Spotify. Here's a whole new playlist about him. He's dominating their sales on the charts this week over the past couple of days. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Let's go to Brian in Massachusetts. Go ahead, Brian.
Hello?
Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base and, like, talk about how he was talking about kind of like the comparison with, like, the Tupac thing. And we're not going to sit here and compare deaths because that's never something that we can do. But I feel like, yeah, it's great that everybody's kind of, like, turned up and kind of posted stuff and got on the internet and rants about XXXTentacion's death and stuff. But imagine if we had the internet access that we do now in the 90s when Tupac died, or even when Biggie died. You know what I mean? Like, it reached world masses through radio and without internet and without, you know, handheld devices that we have now. So imagine then, you know, I mean, imagine how the world would have exploded. I mean, it's definitely a sad thing with this whole like culture now and how people have gone on Twitter and kind of shit all over his death and shit. But, like, at the same time, like, there's nothing that'll ever really compare to the deaths of those two legends. And not that, like I said, not that we're trying to compare them, but, you know, just touching base on what he was saying.
I'm kind of curious to see. This is how we're gonna like. This goes back to our Kendrick debate. It's like time will tell. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I wonder. You know, like, we'll see. And this is also a generation of a very their attention span is limited. So I'm kind of curious, like, are they going to be talking about him in 5 years or 10 years from now? Even though he has such like an outpouring in the streets, is this going to be? Do you think his legacy will be lasting, Justin?
Absolutely, 100%. I don't have a doubt in my mind. Like I don't. Like again, like there's just certain things that are a little bit different, and we, like I said, we saw Lil Peep pass away. There's people who are upset. He overdosed. People die, sadly, in hip hop all the time. But not every artist represents, the human experience the way certain artists do, right? Even if we look at Biggie and Pac, right, they're both phenomenal artists. Both were tragic. We all felt them both. But Pac was just something a little bit different about the way Pac resonated with the generation over Biggie, even though both of them we still remember, or Big Pun or Jam Master Jay. There's just something different about the way Pac resonates. That's what this reaction is with this Kid X. It's a little bit different. And
let's go to Mike.
Go
ahead, bro. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Just finish your thought.
Yeah, it's from the influence he's had musically, but also the impact he's had on people's lives personally, and just from a human standpoint.
Let's go to Mike in Fresno.
Yeah, hey, how you guys doing? I agree with what you guys are saying, especially because I got some little cousins, man, and it hit me because I'll put it this way, I'm 28 basically, and so I was around to see the lyrical side of rap music, but then at the same time, I understand the younger generation, the 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever. So, like, right now, like, it surprised me because I remember my older cousins were probably like your age, you know what I mean, who were going crazy around that time, and it's the same kind of feel. So I definitely, it's like to me, I think the Kid, because I've heard his music, I wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm not going to be like, I listen to the Kid, but, you know what I mean, like, I've played his last album. The Kid had it, you know what I mean? If I look at the generation and how music is going, I see shit. But I think there's a few artists, and he was one of those artists that I think in his 28, 29, he would have still been on Drake's. He would have been on Drake's level, type stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like this is like a Kurt Cobain, like a Tupac type of situation with him.
Man, our bar is low. Let's go to Tim in San Antonio. Tim.
What's going on, Jude?
What up, though?
Not shit, man. Hey, I hate to take this look on things and to bring this shit up, but he was a good-looking cat, man. If he didn't have all these looks, this social media following, I heard one song that was Look at Me. I mean, the song Jam. That's the one I can listen to and be like, all right, this is my shit. I tried to hear his other stuff, man. I just wasn't feeling it. And just to me, if he's not a good-looking cat, are we talking about this right now? I mean, he's got the following, great message. That shit y'all just played, man, that was the shit. But, I mean, come on. Let's be real right now.
All right. Let's go to Jesse in Louisiana. Jesse.
Oh, what's up, Jude?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are going to be talking about this in 2 months, much less, a few years, man. It's just the culture we live in now, dude. People forget everything. People might, no disrespect, but that dude Lil Peep that just died, I mean, you quit hearing shit about that almost immediately after, dude. It was the rappers that were close to him talking about it, but besides that, I mean, it died down very, very quick. And his music was big enough, but it wasn't big enough to make him a legend or, people listening to him 20, 30 years from now, dude.
Let's go to Kyle in Connecticut. Go ahead, Kyle.
What's going on, Jude? Hey, so I just caught the tail end of this conversation, but these kids lost their mind comparing this guy to Tupac. I don't know much about him, but I know from what I read off his obit, didn't seem a very nice guy, kidnapping his pregnant girlfriend and all of that. Tupac has problems, but
allegedly
I don't think they ever rose to that level. I think I can't speak for his music too much because I don't know too much about his music. I don't really listen. I don't really know what kind of.
I think what Justin is saying, and I don't think he is. I'm not trying. That's why I'm not even trying to quibble with Justin about this shit. He's saying it's this generation's Pac. Take that for what it's worth. It might be an indictment of this generation for you know what I mean, or it might be like really their Pac. Like that's kind of, you can take it any way you want to take it. Depends on how you view this generation. Let's go to.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Just. Go ahead, Just.
Yeah, one thing I think is very similar about the eras again, it's like if you really think about the 90s, like everybody was talking about death again. It was like Ready to Die, Life After Death, Will I Be Alive When I'm 25, There Is a Dark Side, Dark and Hell is Hot, Murder Was the Case. Like everybody was really on that then. And these kids are on that in a different way, in a very introverted, mental illness, depression, pill-popping kind of way. Like it's not the same. But the conversation...
Yeah, they're more angsty.
The conversations aren't... Yeah, they're not that far away. And they still have this infatuation with death again. And nobody in this generation was farther ahead, except for maybe arguably Uzi Vert. But XXX was the guy, because he inspired a lot of these guys. Eerie.
Let's go to... Man, this is an interesting point. Let's go to Hodge in Ohio on line 10.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, Hodge.
Like I said, I'm from the old school generation, and it's tragic about his death. But it's just like, honestly, I am not familiar with him, and it's like I've only familiar with him because I've read information about him. But it's just like, you know, with Pac and Biggie and all the other rappers that have passed, and it's like it hit home and it hit hard. I mean, hip hop and rap was it, and it was a generation. And when we spoke about it, we spoke about, you know, Pac, Biggie, you know, and it's just like at that height, and it's just like I just like I said, I'm just not familiar with him, and it's just like I don't think his death will resonate with this. I don't know.
You were saying he doesn't have you were saying he didn't have a large enough body of work to have a huge legacy. Is that what you were saying?
Correct. I mean, like I said, maybe it's just me because I'm old school, but it's just like I just, you know, like I said, I just like I said, it's tragic, but it's like I said, his body of work is not as big as Pac and Biggie's.
What is his body of work, Justin? Because I don't listen to nothing new unless it's from Detroit. So what is his body of work?
Right. Well, he has 2 projects that were sold or available for streaming. There were 17, and then there's Question Mark in 2017 and 2018. I mean, Biggie really only had 2 albums, right? Okay. You know, one of them's a double disc, however you look at it. But I think the metrics are a bit different as well. Like, I think. We used to see Pac and Big in like Vibe magazine and on MTV and BET. We saw them like 3 places, right? Maybe they pop up in 60 Minutes, something randomly, but really we saw them in 3 places. These guys live on Instagram now. They live on social media. So away from just the music that we base most of everything on coming from that generation, a lot of this stuff is also based off of the combination of the music and the social media impact. Like Instagram is the MTV, BET, Source, Vibe, XXL, all in one. And he was super active over there. So maybe his musical output wasn't the same, especially compared to Pac, and for as long as Pac was.
But he was interacting with his fans.
Right. And it was the way that the exchange, the way people buy into you now, is much more than just the songs that you put out.
Let's go to Chuck in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree with everything that he's saying, and I don't understand the folks that's calling in, just like trying to knock this dude. No, we all know that he didn't have Tupac sound or energy, but I didn't know how important his impact was until this happened. And I got teenager boys that live in my house myself, and these dudes walking around like sad and crying. It's like same way I cried when Pac died, same way I cried when Big died, and when Mike died. These fuckers was walking around crying and shit. I didn't understand why, so I sat down and I played his music. And his music was like hard hitting, sad shit. It wasn't all crazy. Like I came up on Swab House and Jay and them, and our shit was about death, smacking hoes, and drugs. This dude, he started off rough, and then he changed. Like, he fucking changed. And in the process of his growth, they took his life. And then you got people calling in, bringing up his old shit. And then you got the weird dude talking about his look. Get your little half-fag ass off the radio. Why in the fuck you call in talking about he cute, so that's why we care? Fuck out of here, weirdo.
All right, there you go. That's Chuck. Chuck in Cleveland. It's Chuck in Cleveland. Well, you know what? Time will tell what kind of legacy he's going to leave. It's just, when cats are getting shot like that young, man, it's fucked up, man. It's sad. We do know he was targeted. There's conspiracies. We're not going to bring any out until we find out. Do you think they're going to get to the bottom of this? They usually don't.
I mean, that's the funniest part, right? Like, I actually posed that question on my Twitter account. I'm like, what are the odds that his assailants will be brought to justice? I really don't know. I like to think that there's cameras everywhere now, so it's got to be kind of easy to find this. I mean, the guy was buying a motorcycle. There's got to be, like, cameras all over that motorcycle dealership. But, like, Biggie was shot on outside the L.A. Auto Museum, down the block from Sirius. And Pac was shot in Vegas. So I hope so. And I hope so for a number of reasons, mainly closure, because for the impact, as someone who experienced some artists that I really cared about when they passed, it really affected me personally. It still kind of hurts that I don't know how those two, how those stories end. And I think I hope they do find him. I hope they do. I really can't tell you if they will or not.
I don't think they will.
He's a rapper. He's a rapper after all,
Yeah, man. Like, people don't talk. People don't talk to cops that much. This shit's going crazy. People love you when isn't it nuts? They love you when you die, man. They like you okay, but then they love you when you die. And it's going nuts. His shit is going nuts. He's blowing up all over the place now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I wonder if he'd rather have been alive than blowing up. You know what I mean?
There's Uzi Vert's another artist who also has a crazy infatuation with death, and he's like wants to join the 27 Club. When Snoop Dogg did an interview the other day, like a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how before he wrote Murder Was the Case, he didn't actually have a case, and then he wrote Murder Was the Case, and he got a case. These guys talk about death so much, maybe they kind of want it. I don't know.
Yeah, they talk it into existence.
Also physical.
I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, yeah, man, I don't really talk about this that much, but like, man, I was, when I was young, I was like, I'd have dark thoughts about like driving off a bridge or some shit, and then I end up fucking getting in a car accident and breaking my neck. So like, I was like, man, you gotta make sure you got to be cognizant of those what seeds you're planting out there. You know what I mean? What thoughts you're giving energy to, because you might make them shits come true.
100%, man. Like, everything I think about happens. Like, when I think about good stuff, it tends to happen, and when I think about bad stuff, it tends to happen. Like, my challenge every day is just to keep thinking good thoughts.
There it is. Think good thoughts, y'all. Well, thanks for breaking that one down for me. I appreciate it. I think we're out of time. I don't even think we got time for the Jay-Z shit. But we can play Jay-Z. Actually, Jay-Z's got a new song. Tell me a bit about the Jay-Z song that we're going to go into.
Jay-Z and Beyonce released a surprise album this weekend called Everything Is Love, which is so ironic on so many levels, considering Kanye started his Love tour, and Nas put out an album the day before. And here comes Jay and Bey with the surprise project. One of the tracks on there is called Boss. It's a solid project. It's a very solid project. I think people should check it out. But one of the songs is called Boss. And there's allusions to Jay-Z taking more shots at Drake on his.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
Shade 45. What's up, y'all? Shade 45. Listen to All Out Show. My name is Jude Anthony Angelini. Now, if you missed any of the show, you know where to go. To Sirius.com on demand, /on demand. Sirius.com. What is it? Sirius.com /on demand. Yep, you can go there. Or you can listen on your app. The app's extra, but it's worth it. Everybody swears by it. They swear by that fucking app. That application. This is what we have coming up. John is going to tell you myths about sex, and then he's got some news about tigers, and there's something else he was going to tell me too, but I forgot. You can tell me, John. What else you don't know either? He doesn't know.
There's a guy out there mowing lawns.
Oh yeah, the lawnmower man.
Lawnmower man. Is that a movie?
Yeah, it was. It was like a Stephen King movie.
What?
Yeah. I think it dealt with like fucking virtual reality or some shit like that. It was like I only saw it when it came out. I don't think I liked it that much. It was no Green Mile, let me tell you that. Let me tell you that there, champ. All right. So, yeah, you can follow at All Out Show on everything, and I'm at One More Jude on Instagram and at Rude_Jude on Twitter. Whoop, there it is. News coming up next.
And now, it's time for News from the Chin with John Z. Matthews.
For some reason, Reader's Digest, it's still around, by the way, and they put together a number of myths about sex that everyone thinks are true.
What the fuck would Reader's Digest know about sex? They're old as fuck.
Yeah, but they're still around.
That's for old people. That used to be you go to an old person's house, that would be in the bathroom.
I know.
That was like the OG. That was before cell phones, before people looked at their Instagram. They would look at Reader's Digest.
Now they're talking about sex, and one of the myths.
Or if you was a hippie, you'd read the Dr. Bronner's fucking soap bottle, because that shit is far out. All right, so what is the
what? Dr. Bronner's?
Yeah, peppermint oil soap.
Oh, okay.
He's like talks about like different dimensions and messiahs and shit. He's on one.
But they're saying
we're getting sidetracked.
Right,
let's go back to the sex.
Sorry, but there's this idea that you're burning major calories during sex. This is not the case. So,
I know that.
Yeah. Experts estimate that 30 minutes of sex, you are burning 85 to 150 calories, and you need to burn about 3,500 to lose a pound of body weight. So you'd really have to go for it to lose a pound.
But it helps with the mood and shit, like fucking. And you're not eating while you're fucking.
True.
So, that helps with weight loss. Eating pussy and ass, but you don't actually digest it.
And there's this idea that there's a 10-year difference between women's and men's sexual peaks. Not true. Men's testosterone peaks at about 18, and women's estrogen levels peak in their mid-20s.
Is that, but, so you're telling me that, what does that mean, though?
Oh,
that doesn't necessarily mean you've reached your peak.
Right.
Oh. Because I feel like older women are more comfortable with their bodies and like they can just get into it more and shit.
Absolutely.
So it's like mentally. Like I'm way better at sex now than I was when I was younger. Even though I have less energy. I use it smarter. I'm wiser. I'm a sage. I'm a wise old sage in the sack.
And they're also a veteran. So they're saying, don't worry about having a heart attack. This is extraordinarily rare. But I guess some people are concerned about it. The chance of having a heart attack while you're having sex is very low. According to this study here, it looks like the chance of this happening. It's about 1 in a million. I mean, of course, if you're on the verge of death, I would think you should be concerned. But
there's been a couple times where I've mixed ecstasy and fucking Viagra too close, and I thought I was gonna die because your heart goes real crazy. But
really, is that a known side effect? I mean, you'd think you'd use those two frequently.
You just gotta space them out. If you do it too close to each other, your fucking heart feels like it's jumping out of your chest. It's fucking crazy, yeah. So that's all I can add to that.
All
but they didn't mention anything about Viagra and ecstasy, so I can't.
No.
That wouldn't be dying during sex. It's better than dying alone on the toilet or some shit like that.
I'll take it.
Dying shitting? That would be the worst way to fucking die while you're shitting. I think Elvis died shitting.
Wasn't that the story?
Yeah, man, what a bummer. Guy was like king of the world and he fucking dies shitting. Ain't that a bitch?
Also, this idea that oysters and chocolate, that these are major turn-ons.
Yeah.
There's no real study to back that up.
Nothing like that, huh? All right, well, there you go.
And here's another one. That men think about sex every 7 seconds. This is completely false.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think about sex.
Well, on
It's
average.
like sex. And then, how long do you think about it?
Until I'm done jerking off, I guess. I don't know.
No, I'm saying, like, if it's every 7 seconds, how long is the sex thought?
Right,
like,
right.
you'd be constantly thinking about sex.
Well, yeah, that's what they point out here. That would be 8,000 sex thoughts per day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not.
It would just be nonstop.
Well, realistically, how often do you drift into that?
Every now and again, especially like since I've been laid up in bed, like I ain't got shit to do. I'd be wanting to jerk off, but I don't.
You're not doing that now?
What's that?
You're not even doing that now? You're just.
I don't do it that much, but I mean, cause my mom's in the other room. Fucking weird,
But they are saying that
I feel better smashing with my mom in the house than just jerking off for some reason. Jerking off just seems so depressing and depraved. Like smashing, at least there's like I'm getting some pussy.
Depressing? What?
I was watching like some spanking video, and it was like the girl was yelping super loud, and I was like, oh man. It's like I gotta put on some headphones because my mom hears this. It's gonna fucking like some fucking woman crying and screaming. He was really letting her have it. Oh man, shit.
But they are saying, on average, guys think about sex 19 times per day, which still seems high, but more realistic.
Yeah, that's more realistic. Yeah, you see, look, bro, you see some ass, and you just kind of, it's not, you're just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you're thinking about sex. We're bombarded by fucking images.
And finally, the idea that sex can affect sports performance.
It ruins your legs. Or whatever he said in Rocky. It ruins your legs.
According to CNN, the idea comes from ancient Greece and traditional Chinese medicine, with the prevailing thought being that not having sex would help increase frustration and aggression and boost energy. This is just garbage.
Kind of makes sense. Or maybe fucking's good. Maybe just getting a nut out, you can fucking relax and just do your thing. It's probably better for a golfer. Like if he just busted a nut and then he goes out on the just golfs. Because you need to be calm and shit. But like if you're a fighter, I don't know. I think you'd want all of the. You don't want to. You want all the sperm in you. You're chock full of sperm when you're fighting.
I mean, do you feel diminished after you've had sex?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm sleepy. That was nice. All right, Was that all 8? I don't need to hear anymore.
Yeah, that's
right,
what
that was it.
Reader's Digest.
Thanks, Reader's Digest, for still existing. For fucking still existing.
So there's this idea that if you are practicing yoga and meditation, you're sort of letting yourself go and becoming selfless, but just the opposite happens in these studies. It inflates your ego. Become a bit of a dick.
I believe it.
Absolutely.
You see all those smug fucking cunts fucking walking up and down my street with their fucking yoga mats and shit. All high and mighty. Getting in their hybrid cars with all the stickers on them, telling you what a good person they are.
It does help, but those people who push TM on me are just so goddamn annoying.
What was that?
Transcendental meditation. Those people are just, it's almost cult-like. And I'm sure it helps you, but I mean, the way that they, talk about me transferring over to the promised land is just nauseating.
I know. It's like anything like that. It's like when people get into AA or CrossFit or Scientology or fucking veganism, it's just like, all right, dude, fucking, all right, calm down. I gotta lead with it. That's what happened. People stop believing in God, so you just find some new shit to believe in. Like, that's their new religion. It's fucking that. You get community, sense of purpose. Yoga, you're mad flexible and shit. Energized. So it turns people into dicks, I believe it.
Well, in the study, the quote here is that researchers saw a higher level of students perceiving themselves as above others immediately following a meditation practice.
I guess that's good for you, man. Like, it gives you a little mental edge. Makes you an insufferable asshole to everybody else, but boy, fuck.
Have you ever tried that? Meditation? Something like that?
Yeah, I did meditation. I've done you know what I really liked? I did the fucking sensory deprivation tank where you just float in saline water.
Wow.
Float. Shout out to Float Lab in Venice. Yeah. That shit was awesome.
Is it just pitch black, or is it
yeah,
kind of like
man,
freaked
it was
out?
like it's like forced meditation, because usually I can't meditate, I get sidetracked. But this shit, yeah, it was fucking crazy. I dug it, but this is just too far for me to do on a regular basis. Not driving to fucking Venice.
Is that expensive?
They gave it to me for free
Oh.
because they like the show. Hey. All right, what else?
Party dips. They can be a little dangerous. You can pick up norovirus, also herpes.
Whoa. Remember that What Would Jude do with the fucking guy that got out of jail and he banged the fucking fat white girl and gave herpes to his baby mama?
Right.
Now you can blame Party Dip.
Yeah, what was he saying? The soap in the prison or something?
Yeah, it was like that was my weak ass excuse.
All right.
I was like, I don't know, just say that you had to borrow somebody's soap or some shit. But Party Dip sounds even better. Put my dick in the onion dip and got herpes.
Yeah, they're saying thousands of organisms live in the tiniest amount of saliva. So when somebody double dips, the bacteria can transfer and multiply quickly.
Hey.
And they took a look at various options here. Terra masalata, which some sort of Greek dip, whatever that is. Hummus and sour cream. And the worst offender was sour cream.
Yeah, you got the milk and shit.
Yeah, they're saying the runnier it is, the more trouble you have. Herpes, though.
It's a new excuse, though. Somebody cheats. Remember that party we went to? Man. That 7-layer dip, man. Got me.
In just 2 hours, there were more than 100 times more bacteria in the sour cream than the uncontaminated sample. Hummus, it didn't multiply that much, so that could be your safest bet.
That's why there's not a lot of herpes in the Arabic community. Or Arab community, as they call themselves.
So be careful out there.
Ganoush is safe as well. What else there, Jonathan?
Looks like more tigers live in U.S. backyards than in the wild. Which
I believe it, dude.
Really? But it's true. I mean, it's just. It looks like 7,000 of the big cats live in U.S. captivity, and only 6% are housed in zoos or facilities approved by this association. The rest live in private breeding facilities, backyards, even urban apartments.
Yeah, shout out to all the drug dealers and rednecks. That's drug dealers and rednecks right there.
That is just I can't even imagine that, but rappers seem to like tigers for some reason.
Yeah, it's like you have a dangerous animal. Like it shows your virility, like how fucking what a tough guy you are. You got this fucking thing. I own that fucking thing. I'll take it on a walk. It likes me. I feed it. You know what I mean? I'll sick it on you, maybe. If I don't like what you're fucking saying. Keep that. I'm not going to say that out loud, but you just fucking keep that in the back of your mind when I'm showing you my tiger.
And they don't give me the state, but it looks like in some states throughout the U.S., it's easier to adopt a tiger than a rescue dog.
Jesus Christ.
What is wrong?
So how many tigers are there in the wild? The motherfuckers are going extinct, huh?
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be more tigers. There already is more tigers. There's more tigers in captivity in the U.S. than in India. That's fucking bananas.
If you ever went over to some guy's house and he had a tiger, would you still hang around?
Yeah, I guess, if he was cool. I told you about going to, like, that fucking hood-ass house, and, like, it was some redneck with he just had an alligator in the basement, like a little crocodile or some shit. And it just was, like, the basement was leaky, so it just was naturally wet down there, and he just, you know, he had it with he had just two pieces of plywood leaning on each other, keeping the thing in there in the corner.
Well,
like, come on down here, I'll show you something. Want to see something? Fucking gators, my croc right there. Hey, get him, Rudy. Get him, Rudy. And the fucking thing's like, like going all fucking crazy. He's playing like he's gonna fucking take the shit up. I'm like, bro, dude, fucking calm down, man.
Well, just to point out the obvious, I mean, isn't that sort of abuse to the? I mean, it just seems torturous.
I didn't think about that. I was more concerned about, like, having to kick that fucking thing or run. Like, I didn't know. Motherfuckers over there smoking basic lights and shit, fucking talking shit. I'm like, man, I'm fucking with you. I didn't hang out at his house.
No.
Very much longer than that. I'm like, man, this guy's trying to fucking... it's just some bro. I'm telling you, man. Rednecks and dope dealers love exotic pets.
Just to let you know, Jude, there's about 3,800 tigers left in the wild.
They better get to fucking. Y'all better get the fucking. So there's almost double. It's damn near double. That's crazy. In captivity. That's how they're going to stay alive. By being pets. Taking the cue from their cousins. The cat. Give me some good news, John.
And now, time for good news.
There's this guy, Rodney Smith Jr. He is traveling all over the country. He's involved with this tour, mowing lawns for the elderly, disabled, single moms, vets for free. And he just travels around, tries to inspire kids to participate in their community. And as you can imagine, he also teaches lawnmower safety.
Yeah. I saw this dude.
Really?
Yeah, this shit was cool, man. He goes around fucking just mows lawns, looks out for people and shit.
Yeah. He just said he came up with the idea one day, seeing somebody who was struggling to mow his lawn, pulled over, helped him out, and then he's really blown it up.
Shout out to Raising Men Lawn Care Service.
Yeah.
We provide free lawn care to the elderly, disabled, single moms, veterans, and we monitor kids, showing them the importance of giving back to the community. Good guy, man. Fucking good guy. This got him with all the people whose lawns he mowed. If you're listening, you should do a before and after of the fucking grass, too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I guess he does. Look at that. Oh, he already beat me to it. I'm on his Instagram. Oh, it looks like shit right here. And then I flick over and boom, it's all fucking nice. Edged up all nice. Look at him. Fucking A, dude. That's cool, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to Rodney. What was his last name?
Smith. Rodney Smith. You can find him on Instagram. I'm Rodney Smith, and suggest a lawn for him to go cut.
That's what's up. All right. There it is. That was the news.
You are checking out the All Out Show with Rude Jude on demand.
All right. Let's special thanks to Frank Parlato for calling up. He told us all about that sex cult. Also, Justin Hunt, the company man on everything. Chris on the boards. Keenan, associate producer, and handled the phones. Jet is our new intern. And John and Alex are the producers. And John does the news as well. My name is Jude Anthony Angelini. I want y'all to have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I'll holler at you tomorrow. Let's go.